Lamar's performance. So going straight to the point, he's got everything set up like LA street lights, as well as a video game thing, a video game controller thing, which I was watching it live this past Sunday, and I was into it. I was enamored, but I wanted to rewatch it and really like observe it and study it and break it down. So right now, what I'm looking at after all the dancers have gotten out the GNX, this right here, what I'm looking at now is the American flag dance. If forgive me, I'm petting the sweet puppy right now. American flag dance they're doing where he's split, he's right in the middle, which symbolically means how divided the country is. So, like a lot of people said, the symbolism is on a whole nother level on this thing, in this performance. His symbolism really is the standout of the show. I'm turning it up a little bit. I do not own the rights to his music, so that's why I had it down for a bit. So one of the critiques that I've heard from a lot of fans, whether they're Drake fans or Kendrick Lamar fans, was that Kendrick only had, okay, I got a commercial here. Kendrick only was playing songs from his latest album, which was the GNX album. Correct me if I'm wrong. I ain't followed rap and I don't know when. So that was the critique that a lot of fans have had. And looking back at it, I did wish he would have done more of his older stuff. Like the song "We Gonna Be All Right" would have been perfect. Even though he played that in the last Super Bowl that he performed in, of course that was Snoop, 50 Cent, Mary J, Eminem, and Dre. I still would have preferred him playing that again. And everybody talk about them pants. I'm like, yeah, them bell bottoms. I'm like, all right, come on, Kendrick. But with all the hype going on, when you first see it, you're really not paying attention to the pants. The pants don't really stand out until you look at the bottom half of them by the ankle and how loose they are. They look like bell bottoms. So now looking at the performance now, he's in the middle of the squares like a game controller right now. Well, not game controller, but just in the middle of it. Production value wise, it's a 10 out of 10. The way they laid out the entire, well, not the entire field, but the way they laid out a portion of the field, it's a 10 out of 10. For the few people that's in the chat, I'm just re-reviewing Kendrick Lamar's performance. And then if you don't hear it, it's because I'm not trying to be too loud so that way, you know, copyright strikes and crap like that. So right now he's rapping with the guys all around the streetlight pole. Now, this is what I'm gonna say. Now that I'm looking at it from another lens, not with the Super Bowl hype, it's production value is gonna get a 10 out of 10. I like the layout. Production value is on point. The storytelling aspect, 10 out of 10. I like the presentation. Samuel L. Jackson, of course, narrating or kind of being the antagonist, as well as the narrator and the kind of carrying the arc of the story, making it make sense on the field. I like that. Now, what I'm looking at right now, okay, so they're in the X. If y'all know PlayStation, there's, of course, the X control button on the controller. And they're dancing inside the X. Now, I did like that. It looked like a prison yard / football field, like they out there in the prison yard, stuck in that X. I like that. Now, I believe on his music videos is like that. I'll be honest with you, like I said, I ain't follow rap like I should. So to all the diehard rap fans, catch me back up. I'll be honest with you, I ain't follow rap since I was in high school. Like really following it. Okay, so this we got the female dancers. And that, Okay, so I like how he teased they not like us. And you can see the audience start getting a little bit more animated and more into it. But as a lot of fans critiqued, uh, okay, a lot of fans critiqued saying it was not the most lively performance. Song selection wise, now the Luther song, it's a smooth song, but I believe the audience was just like, yeah. And I'm not hating at this point. It's just looking at it differently. And see, now they're at the triangle. You see, I got this dog trying to upstage. I'm trying to upstage you, puppy. Scissor stick self out there in the middle of the triangle. But I would say the Luther song was a good way to transition to get Scissor in the performance. Hearing all that red. So I'm gonna say that the entire performance was not done yet. Nothing about it was bad, but none of it was great. I'm hearing a lot of fans say, a lot of people who attended or watched, oh, this was the worst halftime show ever. Okay, now they play them a song, All the Stars from the Black Panther soundtrack. So you hear the audience make some noise now. So the songs that get the most reaction, of course, is going to be They Not Like Us, All the Stars, and really that's about it. And of course, like the last song, Turn the TV off. What's up there, Gabe? Yeah, Gabe. Look, forgive me. I just saw. Yeah, Gabe. I'm looking at the Super Bowl halftime show again. Just reanalyzing it, man, because when you're watching it live and you hear all the hype and this beef with Drake, you're kind of already like, oh yeah, this is good, this is good, this is good. But now that the hype has died down and really just critiquing it, I'm just going off the cuff. I'm just rambling my mouth about the halftime show. Here you go, Sizzle. You can hear the audience like hear more noise. I got this dog right here, y'all. Okay, now the mics could have been louder because her voice started getting drowned out by the music. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, here you go. Here go the song. I see you, puppy. Y'all say hey to my puppy. You ain't kissing me, you be moving. I'll hug you. That's it. You ain't like us, puppies. Now, this is the song, They Not Like Us. This will get everybody out. Aesthetically, the show was on point. Aesthetically, the show is got it. Is it the best? Like I said, is the best performance? No. As a New Orleans Saints fan who has watched the game, I've never been inside the Superdome, not yet. But watching enough Saints games and just enough shows in the Superdome, the arena could have been a lot louder. So, oh yeah. You just reviewed the Black Panther figure. I might have checked that one out, Gabe. Puppy, your Uncle Gabe says hello. She's sniffing a chew toy. Now, and that's the loudest you're gonna get. A minor. The A minor. They Not Like Us. And then it goes Serena Williams. And when I first saw Serena, I'm like, wait a minute, who this chick out here? Because she looked familiar. And I'm like, oh, that's Serena. I forgot her and Drake were together. And it'll be up soon. Oh yeah. Cool. Y'all check out my boy, Miracle Productions, King Gabe. He's gonna have a Black Panther. A Black Panther figure review. I know you didn't catch me picking my nose. You ain't see that. You ain't see that. Okay, in this song right here, turn the TV off. We hear him say mustard. I said that so proper. Gets the loudest reaction. Once this is done, I'm really gonna have a greater critique for it. So I know a lot of Kendrick diehards probably not gonna really like it, and I'm not hating on Kendrick. I want to just put my 2 cents in. Everybody else on the internet doing this, so I might as well too. So like a production wise, on point. They utilize the stage. They utilize the field. They utilize it. We got the game over. So okay. So the show was good. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna take it down to a 7 out of 10. Passable, good, but not great. And the reason why, what gives it the 10 out of 10, or the stronger portions of the show, was the production value, the dancing, and I'm a video game lover, so having that PlayStation set up was always a win. The negatives, sound. By the time we hearing all the stars, now I'm actually paying attention and listening. The music was drowning out SZA. Number 2, Kendrick, though he's a good performer, and I'm not saying this as a hater by no means. I'm performing myself. I'm still working in my craft as an actor, performer in the arts. His voice is not the most biggest or bombastic, and I know we're not in the era of music where you gotta have the biggest, most demanding voice to carry on the stage. But Bobby, what you doing? Come here, Bobby. But it was kind of quiet, and not quiet in a good way. Quiet like it was, like a lot of haters would say, kind of boring. I think some people might not like it, but it's watching. But it's just an opinion. It's not hating, because like I said, it was good. It was good spots in the show. I'm gonna say, looking back at it some more, he could have had more people show up. And I know it's, budgeting wise, this is me being a Louisiana person. Outside of They Not Like Us, and maybe turn the TV off, you didn't really get a reaction. Other than all the stars, but that's also because of Black Panther. But I'll be honest, as a Louisiana person, Southern University Band was there. And Turn the TV Off is very brass heavy. And all I'm saying is, you could have had Southern out there if you kind of wanted to save face for the New Orleans, South Louisiana crowd. Now, of course, for me, I'm from North Louisiana, but still, Louisiana is Louisiana. You could have had Southern, could have had Grambling if you want to rep the North. You could have. A lot of people have stated that Wayne should have been in the show, or it should have been Wayne instead of Kendrick Lamar. I can understand why they would use Kendrick Lamar, because he's trending right now. They Not Like Us has been tearing up the charts. You've been hearing it everywhere. But I will also say, as a person from Louisiana, you should have had somebody from the state in the halftime show. Brother that John Baptiste and Lettucey did an awesome job with National Anthem and Lift Every Voice and Sing. They took it to church. They repeated the vamp of both songs several times perfectly. But, and like I said, I'll be honest, I have not followed rap to know if Lil Wayne or Kendrick has ever done a song together. But even if you couldn't get Wayne in there, you should have got somebody from Louisiana in the midst of that show to just, I mean, shoot, Master P. Somebody to just kind of really, if all else fails, get somebody from let's see what you're saying. I went to Southern University for a semester and then Biff. Oh, yep. Southern Night, Gabe. Me too, man. But that's the thing. You could have had more Louisiana representation, just like you did with the West Coast show in LA a couple of years ago. Even though every artist was not from the West Coast, you actually had a good amount of East Coast in that show because you had 50 Cent and you had Mary J. Blige. And in the Midwest or up north, you had Eminem. But you still had Dr. Dre, who was the lead of it, Snoop Dogg, and Kendrick Lamar. So, fair is fair on that. And I would say in this situation, they could have had somebody from Louisiana in this halftime show. But all in all, I'm taking it down a little bit from the 8 out of 10 to a 7 out of 10. And that's not a hater. I know there's going to be a lot of folks that would say, oh, you just hating because you're from Louisiana. No, this is a little bit more sharper. It's a little bit more thinking it out, thinking it through, actually watching and analyze it. Yeah, I'm rambling my mouth. It might not be the most organized, but I'm getting it out of there because I said I was going to get it out of there. But, yeah, a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 for that. A 7 out of 10 for that show. Now, I would also say, because I haven't really followed the beef like I probably should have talked about it, but I know enough that Drake has been utterly embarrassed and just taking the L from Kendrick Lamar. Now the only thing we have to see is what is Kendrick going to do post TKO and Drake. And I heard that Drake, I believe he has a group or something like that. Let me know in the chat. Anybody that know today's music better than me? Something with Drake's just sold real well. I know he's still out there, I think, in Australia. But my critique just on that beef is, how far is Kendrick going to take it? Is he going to just keep on going and just, pummeling Drake doesn't in the media, in music? Is he going to keep doing that? I know from what I've heard that Drake was very, he doesn't have the cleanest slate behind the scenes, or say. That's just from the videos I've seen and from what I've heard. So it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this is going to pan out. I wouldn't want Kendrick to lose momentum because he continues to talk about Drake. A lot of Drake fans are saying Kendrick is not a star, or he's not. The only reason why he's successful right now is because he's bashing Drake. I know the Super Bowl is in February, but what month does the football game start leading up to the Super Bowl? Like, what you mean, Gabe? Are you talking about when it starts as far as leading up to the Super Bowl? Are you talking about the season? Football season usually starts officially starts in September, but then you have the preseason in August. Or are you talking about playoffs? Now, playoffs really just start at the beginning of the year. Like once December is over with, that's when the playoffs start in January. Shout out to the 3 in the chat. I know my boy Gabe in the house. Anybody else that's in the chat, just state your name or just say hello. You're more than welcome. And let me know if you just want to see more lives. Because I do my skits, but also I'm on my channel. I'm testing the waters. I'm testing the waters to see what stick. I know I'm in the entertainment genre now, which I've always wanted to be in. Yo, what's up, Unstoppable? What's going on with you? Appreciate you. Well, is that it's very, very small on my phone. What emoji or what screensaver is that? Is that something DBZ, Dragon Ball Z? Just let me know. Anybody else you know, I'll tell you my interest. I'm a big music lover. I'm a movie buff. I love wrestling. I'm probably going to talk about, yes, DBZ. I had a feeling. I was like, I know DBZ from a distance. I know DBZ from a distance. But I'm more than football, I'm a wrestling lover, video game lover, retro stuff, kind of a geek. And you just look through my channel, man. I'm also an actor. I'm an actor, and I've been just working on my own skits and storytelling, man. Comedy, but I want to venture off in other things as well. Drama. I actually start off more drama outside of the YouTube. So my sis Casey and I love DBZ. Oh, of course. How's Casey doing there, Gabe? How's she doing? Tell her I'm keeping her in prayer. And Unstoppable, that's my boy Gabe, Miracle Productions. He's an author. You're more than welcome here. More than welcome to just hang out with us, man. And anybody that's coming in, be sure to like the video. I greatly appreciate it. Fellow author. Oh, wait a minute. So he's a fellow author? So wait a minute, Unstoppable, you're an author too? Please let us know. I'm an aspiring author. I ain't putting nothing out yet, but I'm really tempted because I know several friends of mine who have written books. I've written scripts, like short scripts for screen and theater. I'm trying to be one, I should say. Well, go and speak into existence. Go ahead and speak into existence. You are. Put it out there. Start small. That's what I'm doing. Put it out there. Start small. I will tell you, like, my experience, I've worked in the, no, I still do. I work in the film industry. Not big time yet. But I'm working on it. Just making my own niche in this world, you know? What genre are you interested in, like, in writing? Like, because ironically, I work for the library. So once you get published, let me know. We get you in the system. Yeah, what kind of stuff you write? Are you like sci-fi? Are you drama? Any progress is good progress, man. Look, I'm every day I'm a work in progress. Gabe can tell you, we both are constant works in progress. We like good computer software. We just keep upgrading. That's the thing. Any progress is good progress. That's right. Any progress is good progress. Sci-fi and drama seems to call me. That's what's up, man. Go for it. Absolutely, go for it. Because, and honestly, okay, this is my. Not only do I want to talk about like modern day pop culture stuff, I'm a big old school fan. And like when I mean old school, I like retro stuff. So I like old classic movies. Like I'll say from like I will go as far as the 1900s, all the way to modern day. So I can watch Alien as well as Forbidden Planet. I can watch The Fifth Element as well as Avatar or After Earth. I can watch Star Wars, Star Trek, the Invasion of the Flying Saucers, movies like that. I like the Star and stuff like that. Just different stuff, man. Barbarella. I got my own skit, by the way. It's kind of corny, but I said, let me try something different. It's called Brother in Outer Space. So you just look at my channel, man, and you'll see the screenshot that says Brother in Outer Space. Just trying something different, man. Doing something that nobody would expect. Yeah, my boy Gabe, he likes fantasy, adventure, superheroes, and a little romance and comedy variety. Now, for me, I like. I'll be honest with you. I like darn near everything. I want to just kind of almost be in everything. I know I'm just kind of spilling my creativity or just sharing stuff, but hey, I'm going for just what I know and what I like. I'm a big movie buff guy. So I love the action, the adventure, the dramas, the thrillers, the suspense, the romances, the horrors, the biblical epics, the I will say even the erotic movies like the Basic Instincts and stuff like that. Um, Comedies, animation. I want to do it all. I'm gonna do it all. Starting small. And you do the same, Unstoppable. You just start, you just keep on going. And like I said, just check out the I appreciate you coming in. Hey, we just keep this conversation going. You, me, Gabe, anybody else in the chat, just state your name or just say hello. Let yourself be recognized. A jack of all trades. I'll say yeah. Yeah, I don't. I've kind of been learning not to just stay in one box. That's what I've been learning. Just not stay in one box. I mean, I could try, but it's like maybe I get bored easily, or something goes wrong that just tells me no, branch out and do more. So you could say a jack of all trades, a master of maybe a couple. I wouldn't say jack of all trades, but of many trades. Multi-dimensional. Yeah, pretty much. My shorts are very diverse. Yeah, but you know what? In this day and time, in this economy, in this world, you have to really be diverse. You can't just stay in one box. You can't just lock yourself into one thing. You gotta give yourself as many options as you possibly can. Comic book writing seems fun too. Won't lie to you. And you know what? I love comic books as well. As a matter of fact, this is what I'm gonna do right now. If you don't mind staying, and everybody else that's in the chat, Unstoppable's in here with me. My boy Gabe of Miracle Productions in here with me. I actually have some comic books. If you want to see them, I mean, I got some just to see them. Just mix up in the chat. Let me know. Put a 1 in the chat or a yes if you want to see them. And we can just talk about it a little bit. Yes, okay. I'll pull some of them out. I'll pull out my boy Gabe's story so you can see too. Okay, cool. So I'll tell you what, y'all stay right there. I'm gonna pull out just the first set I can, and then I'll be right with you. So y'all stay right there. Hold on. Just a second. All right. I'm just here to let you know that this is just part of what I got. Okay, this is just part of what I got. Small portion. It's a teaser. This is a teaser. And I'm going to save the best for last. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. This is my Unstoppable. This is my homie Gabe's books right here. The Yumiko novels. And it's right here. Star Striker is one of them. And he tells me that apparently me and Star Striker have a connection because I am Star Striker. You gotta talk to Gabe about that. And so also, if y'all know me, I'm a church-going person. Y'all always got my Bible right here, church-going person. But I want to show you my comics real quick. All right, so some of the comics that I collect, some people would say are a little bit more on the obscure side. Star Striker, is that the main character? Yep, sure is. Gabe, you can talk to him about it too. Let him know, man. Hit him up to the game. All right, so this is two loners in the same space. And okay, so Unstoppable, I don't know where you're from, man, but I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana. So every August, we have an event here in Shreveport, a Comic Con called Geek Con. Geeked. So GEEK apostrophe D and then con. And there's this store in Shreveport called Excalibur. It's a comic book store here. And they always have a good sale on comic books. And for me, I kind of like the obscure comics because everybody know about Superman and Batman. And on the Marvel side, X-Men and the Avengers, and Incredible Hulk and Iron Man. But sometimes I like to mix it up and purchase some comics that nobody really knows about. And this one is called Loner. And what attracted me to this comic book here, excuse me. So what attracted me to this comic book right here was really you have, and correct me if I'm wrong, unless somebody else sees it differently, two black characters, two black leads, two black men who are, it look like in a sci-fi type of situation. Now you see the artwork is like black and white. I would say sci-fi, yeah, sci-fi kind of outer space. Now, I'll be honest with you, I got so many of these, but I haven't read them. And I've thought about doing maybe a story time or something like that. I mean, I know story time with grown folk, but just being in just reading out the story or even acting out the story. Unstoppable. Hidden gem. Yep. I like hidden gems, man. So this is one. Here's another one. Prophecy of the Soul Searcher. Another black-led comic. This last time when I went to GeekCon, I was just on a binge to want to see more black heroes. Now I don't know your ethnicity, Unstoppable, and I don't want to by no means offend, and because it's Black History Month. I just feel like as a performer, as a content creator, as an artist, as an actor, doesn't matter what your race or ethnicity is, you should have a stage or a voice to present yourself. So I look at all the old school Hollywood, and you see how so many white actors were given an opportunity. He'll be one of the main characters. His real name is Samuel and stuff. Yep, tell him, Gabe. So I just like to see that representation of every ethnicity. So, for instance, and this is by no means really being racial. So I'm a young black millennial, but I'll sit back and watch some TCM. I'm probably, unless you could beat me on it as far as movie lore, I'm one of the few brothers out there that can talk about Alfred Hitchcock, that can talk about so many other different, Cecil B. DeMille, and so many other classic actors and performers. And so I'll watch movies with all white cast. I'll watch movies with all black cast, like the Fred Williamsons and the Jim Browns. I'll watch a all Mexican film, whether it be Andres Garcia or even Latin-esque actresses like Raquel Welch. I'll watch all Asian films like the K-dramas and stuff like that. But going back to the topic, here's another comic called Prophecy of the Soul Searcher. So you see, it was another black-led cast. As a fellow black man, I agree. Everyone deserves good. All right, look, show your right, Unstoppable. Show your right, brother, man. And whether you have been a different ethnicity, that hey, you still more than welcome. But just find that out. Happy Black History Month, brother. Now, speaking of comics, one of my favorite, that's grown to be one of my favorite superheroes outside of Superman and Batman and DC is Brother Nightwing. So here's another one. Brother Nightwing. Of course, he was originally Robin, but yes, Brother Nightwing. Welcome to my. Let me show you how old this is. I'm gonna show you how old this comic is. Welcome to my nightmare. Tell me how old you think this is. Look at that. Look at this ad right here. Look at them action figures. Put a 1 in the chat if you getting back into that 90s feel again. Because this is not 21st century. This is 20th century. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna squint my eyes real quick and see if I can find This is 1998. 1998. I saw right here at the very end. If y'all can kind of see in the lettering, probably can't. But this ad right here, 1998. And if you like what you're seeing, please like the chat. So this is one right here. Okay, here's a risque one. Show you how I like the obscure. I'll say, Gabe, 10 years old, 90. You know how old I was? 98, I was 5 years old. I had to think about it too. I was 5. Because Power Rangers in Space was out, but I wasn't watching Power Rangers as much as I would the following year with Lost Galaxy. All right, Unstoppable Brother. Appreciate you, man. Yes, indeed. Now, and I'll start doing these lives a little bit earlier too. I did this one late to see if I mess up, and hey, a small group at least see me mess up. You got 7 people in the chat. All right, if you coming into the chat, all you gotta do is just say hello. If you don't want to, just at least let me know you're in the house. My boy Gabe is in the house. We are talking about comic books right now. If you are a comic book fan, here's one called Cobra. If you want to hear me talk about more about Cobra, also I'll talk about my homie Gabe and his comics, the Yumiko novels. Let me know. Or the Star Striker novels. Let me know. That's what we talking about. We talk about Star Striker. We talk about other comics. We talk about movies. We just talk about random stuff. We talk about random stuff I like. And the adventure continues. So this one is Tiger X. Okay, this is a risque one because I see a lady right here that I don't know if she's even wearing underwear. Once we I'm for it. You in for it, Gabe? Cool. All right, so let's see. Where do I start next? I got several. I can go in several directions with this. Oh, this is kind of wild, crazy. I'm trying to see what's trending. Okay, let's do something a little old school right here. Like I mean like old school. I mean like neither one of us was here on this earth old school. Well, some of these other ones I already showed you neither one of us was here on this earth. But all right, this comic book. Oh, and it actually came out the day before my birthday. Well, not the year of my birth, but just calendar date. Called Champions. Look how old school this is. Look at this artwork. And look at the back of it. Or the first name in the first name or Hero Comics, the first name in graphic story fiction. Y'all just look at that right now. You hadn't seen that one, man. Look, this is different. So this is the very first picture you're gonna see. You're gonna see this head. Now, YouTube, before you get censoring, that's a robotic head. So don't try to censor my video or try to punish me on this old school comic right here. Look at this right here. And so it's the first piece of dialogue states. This is not a very good likeness. Okay, so apparently this might be a clone. So and look at this sister right here. New Gods for Old. This sister right here, I guess her name is Malice. I like how she looks. So I guess her character name is Malice. She got some style. I'm going to see what year this is. Definitely before. Okay, right, the 80s. So this is 1988. 1988. Indigo. So look at this character, Indigo. There's Malice. That's the sister in the white attire. And there's a character named Indigo. These are pretty cool. Pretty cool. He was born in 1988. '88. That's. I'm gonna tell you, Gabe. I wish I was. Sometimes I wish I. Well, I'm not gonna say I wish I was born earlier. I wish that sometimes I would have lived in the '80s. That's the one decade I kind of envy that I didn't live through. Live through like the '80s and '90s. Well, I lived through majority of the '90s. Born in '93, but like teenage or adult life in the '90s. But I will say it was good being a kid in the '90s and early 2000s. We ain't gonna knock the 2000s. I know a lot of people just celebrate the '90s, but 2000s compared to now was good. Us millennials, we had a great childhood. Of course, people have tragedies and struggles all throughout their life. But I'm gonna say I hear Gen Xers brag about their generation. I hear Gen Z brag about theirs. But I'm gonna stick up for us millennials and us '90s millennials in particular. We had a great childhood too. Actually, we probably had the peak of childhood. We had the perfect blend of new school and old school. That's a whole nother video. You ever heard of the California Raisins or Rude Dog? Oh man, now California Raisins, yes. Rude Dog, no. But I've heard of other dogs, other cartoon dogs, like Two Stupid Dogs. You remember that used to be on Cartoon Network? What's going on, Marcus Persley? What's going on, man? Two Stupid Dogs, and now there was this thing called Frothy Dog, something like that, but it was like an older show. And they always had this song of now I gotta be careful singing it because I don't get no copyright strike. They'll copyright strike me for something that they hadn't played on television in over 25 years. But it was like Frothy Dog. So the song goes, he's frothy dog. Correct me if I'm saying it the right way. He smiles a lot because he's got lockjaw, and the dog would always just smile and go do nothing else. Yeah, Two Stupid Dogs. It's a show. I got it. Okay, I got it on VHS. It's in a what's the name? Flintstones VHS. So they always had a like a warm up cartoon, as they say, where they had like a more modern day show. Like back in the day, they had Cartoon Fridays on Cartoon Network, and so there was a show called Two Stupid Dogs they had on Cartoon Network. And I remember there was this kid I could not stand. I wanted to knock him in his mouth because he kept on snitching on Kenny. Talk about Kenny, teacher, the teacher, Kenny has gum, something like that. And I just wanted to knock him in his mouth for just being a snitch. But yeah, so those were some of the dog cartoons. We had Cat Dog on Nickelodeon, Two Stupid Dogs on Cartoon Network. You had Clifford the Big Red Dog in literature. There were some other dogs. Snoop Dogg was big, still big. Of course, he's got some heat on. It's with that Nate Dogg. Shout out to all the West Coast lovers. Of course, our generation were too young to listen to Nate Dogg, but when you're around old school folks all your life, you learn a couple of things. This lady, Rude Dog was a white dog with black and purple. Now, Rude Dog, a white dog with black and purple eye that drove a pink cow. Now that you mentioned it, I'm about to look and see. Oh, Courage the Cowardly Dog. That was another dog we grew up on. You can't go wrong with a dog. Can't go wrong with a dog. I got one named Nail Puppy. Ain't that right, Puppy? She rolled up in a ball. Yep. But Marcus, we was talking about we was just talking about different stuff. So the chat basically, the video basically started. I was doing a re-review of the Kendrick Lamar and Scooby Doo. That's right. Thank you, Marcus. Yep, Scooby Doo. Of course, Scooby Doo, the legend, the dog that kicked it off for everybody. Scooby Doo. Yeah, Scooby Doo, and then of course the dogs of the Looney Tune and Tex Avery. You had Droopy, Snoopy, Senor Droopy from Guadalupe, Scooby Doo, A pup named Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo, where are you? Live action Scooby-Doo. Of course, how could I forget Scooby-Doo? It was like Scooby's already like in the Hall of Fame. And Scrappy Dappy Doo. Scrappy Cornelius Doo. Couldn't stand Scrappy. They did a good job with the live action movie. The live action movie in 2002 is going to always be a favorite. There's a movie where Courage meets Scooby. You know what? I'm trying to see if I ever watched that where Courage meets Scooby. Both of them, so I get sleepy. Both of them of course, get scared and then have to fight people off. Yep, Scrappy is YN today in terms of characters. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you this here. What I loved about, because I just mentioned it, the live action Scooby-Doo, the writers, what I admire about them, they wrote that movie like a fan. Like somebody who watched every episode of Scooby-Doo as well as what they wanted to see. They read the audience, they knew the assignment. Because in the original cartoon, I don't believe in the original, not the 80s or 90s or 2000s interpretation of Scooby-Doo. Y'all see how I'm going off the random with stuff because I could talk about this forever. In the old school interpretations of Scooby-Doo, Freddie and Daphne never really announced that they're a couple. They never show no public display of affection, but you notice in certain cues, if you see the Mystery Inc. gang walk down a hallway or something, Fred is the leader. He's always in front. Daphne is right behind him. And then right behind her is Velma. And then Shaggy, and then Scooby's like right there, kind of like, if I move my thumb right here, they kind of walk like just like that, kind of in the back or like right parallel to Shaggy. And so it always gave off its insinuation, especially when they split up. They always split between Freddie and Daphne. Sometimes Velma would be their third, but if not, Velma and Shaggy, Scooby would be their third. With the puppy power. I hate they made Scrappy. Now, you know what? That's the one thing, Marcus, I might have to slightly disagree with you with. Because for the movie, now I'll say they could have executed it differently. But for the movie, maybe a lot of people didn't like Scrappy. And, like one generation liked him, but that more modern generation really didn't like Scrappy. So to kind of make him the villain and then get Mr. Bean to play the villain, that was top of the level casting right there. You can't go get no better than Mr. Bean. Also, if you're in the chat, please like the chat. Please put a like or thumbs up if you like what you're hearing. But with Scrappy, they could have. I would say if you're gonna make him the villain in the first movie, they could have gave him a real good redemption arc in the second. They could have did that. Because you couldn't go wrong with he was a least likely villain, though, when I think about the movie. Because there was the flashback scene in the Scooby-Doo movie. So they had the flashback scene, but as a traditional fan, when you're watching it in the movie theater, you're thinking that's it. You ain't gonna see no more Scrappy in there after that flashback. Because we, as a fan, you know that, okay, yeah, we know about Scrappy-Doo. He was a pain in the butt, but that's why we kind of love to hate him. But then when you turn him into the main villain, it's like I could see why somebody would, some of the demographic would hate it, some would love it. However, it did work. It did. Because when you think about now, Scrappy kind of has more importance in the series. Because say he would have just stayed a good guy, would we really be talking about Scrappy like that? Would we say he just that, or would we just say he's still just that little runt that's always on Scooby's nerves? It's like in pro wrestling, he went from babyface to heel. So I would have had him. I would have stuck with the choice of him being the main villain in the first Scooby-Doo, but I would have given him a redemption arc in the second one. I will admit that second one kind of, I enjoyed them having all the old classic villains come for the second one, but I would have, I still would have had, I would have just ended it with Scrappy like that. I would give him a redemption arc. They could have did something where he was brainwashed back to being a good person, a good dog, or he just felt really really bad and said, okay, why? Yeah, yeah, I agree, Marcus. That's why they did that. That's why. hmm I Now I'm gonna tell you about that first Scooby Doo. They could have, when it comes to Scrappy, they did try to trick us. Now, my young self in the movie theater, I was tricked. Now, this was 2002. I was in the theater, Tinseltown in Shreveport, with my late uncle. Rest in peace, uncle. It didn't work for me. But if somebody like an adult that kind of saw how everything was going could really see it, they're like, eh. But then again, I don't know, because the real villain wasn't really revealed to the third act. He was hinted. You knew that Rowan Atkinson's character. You knew that Rowan Atkinson was like the main villain. He was over the island. But the big scandalous reveal was when they take the robot's mask off, and you see the teeth and everything winding down, the wheels turning. Next thing you know, it's revealed, puppy power, that Scrappy was the villain the whole time. It kind of made you respect Scrappy a little better, though. I mean, think about it. Like Scrappy, he's just the young runt, the YN, as Marcus say. But then he kind of showed, hey, I will go so far as to take over somebody else's likeness to rule the world and get my revenge on Mr. Ink. Because he decided to piss on Daphne in the Mr. Ink van. That was funny. That was funny. That was really funny. But that was really the premise of the chat. I'm gonna stay on here so I can do like a full hour. I'm gonna be like 8 more minutes. We're gonna talk about something else. Let's talk about something else. We talked about football. Well, we talked about the Super Bowl halftime show, and then we talked about comics. Woohoo! And Marcus, if you're an old school comic fan, which I know you are an old school comic fan, but it's a little bit more obscure. Of course, you see just how lewd this is. Matter of fact, looking at some of these characters, tell me this don't remind you of Barbarella. Speaking of Barbarella, I got the DVD. Classic. I remember, and that's another thing I might start talking about more, classic movies. I remember the old school, almost the exact same art. I remember the old school, if y'all remember like back in the day, Movieplex. It was like so on cable Comcast, Movieplex was probably channel 57 because Movieplex was always after TCM. TCM was always channel 56, and AMC was always channel 55. TBN was always channel 58. Entertainment Tonight was probably Entertainment Channel was probably always 59. BET was always 60. Show you how my mind is. I still remember them channels by heart because Cartoon Network was always 46. Nickelodeon was 47. Sci-Fi Channel was 44. Comedy Central was 40. Spike TV was 38. FX was 39. Disney Channel 19. ABC Family or Jetix was 20. Shame on me for remember all this stuff, but I remember. So, Movieplex. Oh, right, Barbarella. So, I first watched Barbarella on Movieplex. And it might have been not only just Movieplex, so Movieplex and TCM. So anytime I watch something old school. And I remember the first scene, I'm like, when I see the scene, I knew the movie was wild and crazy. Yeah, look, my memory is sharp depending on what we're talking about, I remember all this stuff. So I remember the first time I watched Barbarella, and I was thinking, what kind of weird dream, kind of acid trip am I on? You see this all this smoke and production and this weird art, which to the first glance you think it's ugly, but then when you're really an artist, it's beautiful. Yep, in the early days, Spike TV, and yeah, sure was TNT, TCM in the early days of Spike TV. And look, and you remember Marcus before Spike TV, it was TNN. And Miami Vice always came on before Monday Night Raw. I still got the VHS. It's 2001. Yeah, man. So tell me if you remember this, Marcus, or you remember in Barbarella. This scene used to scare me as a kid. Now, as an adult, I'm like, there's an underlying kink to it. I don't know why. Because the movie is really a kinky movie. Honestly, the movie is actually a play on the kink. Then ECW's on Friday at 7:00. Sure was. Sure was. All right, you remember the scene where the kids had Barbarella tied up to like some poles or something. And they turned on these dolls. And I'm like, I have never seen anybody recreate that scene, but it's a odd, weird, campy, but also suspenseful, scary scene. So they got these dolls. They were like ugly, scary looking dolls. And see, there is a phobia where people are afraid of dolls, and these dolls got razor sharp teeth. So once they wind them up or turn on some type of remote control, the dolls kind of open their mouth up and then chomp back down. And they slowly walk to Barbarella. You vaguely remember? It's in the first half of the movie, and I don't know why I remember it. I guess because it was just weird and scary. But I still remember. But so she's tied up, because you can look it up on YouTube. I might do some movie reviews too. So she's tied up, and the kids are looking menacing. This is kind of like pre-Children of the Corn, and the kids are using these dolls to slowly creep over to Barbarella, and they're steady chomping. So she's starting to see what's happening. These dolls are really, I guess, sent to eat her alive, basically. So you kind of see that as the tension builds, and to anybody that's like who's really like a real like who like all the serious movies, all like you take things so seriously. You're like, what kind of crap is this? But to somebody who likes serious and outrageous, it's like, ugh. But so the dolls get closer and closer to her. Now they get to the point they're starting to gnaw at her. They start biting her, and wherever they can bite her. And she's wearing like stockings or something like that. So this is the 1960s. Movies haven't gotten as gross as they can get now. It's not like the Terrifier where it's just all the way out, just whoa. So they're starting to tear at her costume, and you see like little bite marks and blood marks everywhere. They started biting to her skin and stuff. She's hollering, screaming, stuff like that. And then there's this guy, you thinking, no, she's about to get just eaten up to pieces. And then boom comes, I can't remember the actor's name, but he comes in almost like a Chewbacca-like type of suit. Show you how weird this movie is. He's not wearing a spacesuit. He's wearing a furry Chewbacca-esque dolls eating something. Reminds me of a movie about ants that ate people. Yeah. Now, Gabe, which one are you talking about? Because I like these old movies, man. Which one are you talking about? Because there's several movies where ants are like attacking people. Miniature ants are giant. Because there's the Empire ants. But this guy in a furry suit rescues Barbarella, whips at the kids and ties them up, and then she's rescued, and then she goes about her adventure. Of course, you have to watch the rest of the movie to see the adventure. I might stay here a little longer because now you got me looking at one thing, talk about the Empire ants. I'm going to give it a little bit longer. Yep, dolls eating someone, Gabe. Reminds me of the movie where ants ate some people. There was, see, now you're bringing it back. And Marcus, if you're still in the chat, let me know if you remember this one. This came out